Hey folks, welcome back to Audio Access. I am back with another fantastic video for all of you guys. So in this video, we will be looking at folders in Reaper. Okay, so before we have done a video on sends and receives, and now we will be doing the folders. Now sends and receives as well as folders are sort of similar things, but different use cases, right? Now we will be looking at folders in a practical scenario. I will show how I use in a daily basis, and they are very powerful tool to organizing your tracks. Okay, now without further ado, let's get started. Now folders are a way to organize tracks, as I said before. Now think of a real folder in a computer where you have, now let's say you have a lot of files, and if you were to put them into different folders, you are organized. Okay, so the same thing applies to the digital or the audio world as well. Here we can organize tracks into different folders. Now for instance, let's take a theory. We have 50 tracks. Okay, so if you were to put them in different folders, let's say drums, bass, guitar, piano, flutes, strings and stuffs, everything has been organized, so you can treat the folder as a track. Okay, so I'll show in a practical environment. For now, you can treat the folder as a track. You can mute the folder, which will mute every track inside the folder. Okay, that's the basic scenario. Now let's take an example and I'll show how this thing works. Okay, now we have no tracks, so let's create tracks. Now we don't have to mess with virtual instruments and stuff. All the tracks are same in Reaper, so you can have whatever the track you want as folders. Okay, so let's create a track.
What track name?
Track, let's say track 1.
Pane. One track 10 items.
And okay, let's not name the track. Okay.
One track 10 items. Edit track name. Blank pane. 10 items.
Now let's duplicate this track. D for duplicate. Okay.
20 items. 70 items. 90 items. 10 items.
So we have 10 tracks here, right? Now
90 items. 10 items.
Okay, let's copy and paste this.
10 tracks selected. 10 tracks 10 selected 0. 10 tracks added. 20 selected 0.
Now we have 20 tracks.
18 0 20 tracks select 20 tracks. 20 tracks added. 39 40.
Okay, now we have 40 tracks. Now here comes the power of folders. Okay.
39 0 38
Now
37. Selection 1.
Let's go to the first track. You can press Control Alt Home if you are using the latest version of Asara.
20 items. 10 items.
Now we have 40 tracks. So here comes the folder. Okay. So let's say if you want to
40 items.
add the tracks as folders starting from 5 to 20. Okay, so what you have to do is there are mainly two I would say practices. Those are not wrong or right, like you can decide whatever you want. Okay, so what I do here is I create a separate track which doesn't contain anything. I create a separate track and name as something drums, and I will apply that as the what do you call that, folder. Okay, so I'm not sure how to explain that thing. Okay, so let's take an example.
50 items.
Now if you want to add the tracks from starting 5 to 20, what I do is
40 items.
Select the fourth track and create another one.
Add track name.
And let's say folder cover. Okay, folder
Combo selected. Select
cover.
folder cover.
Okay, so this is the cover. Now you can name it whatever you want, drums folder, bass folder, like that.
Pane.
Now here
5 folder cover 0 items.
we have a folder cover. Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to turn this to a folder. Now this is currently set to track. Okay, so what you have to do is press shift plus enter, which will say which will toggle
Folder. Track. Folder. Track.
Okay, so there is a toggle. So if you press
Folder.
shift plus enter, it will say folder. Okay, now here
40 items.
4
5 open folder cover 0 items.
open folder cover. Okay, so
name. Folder cover R blank folder cover selected.
let's say drums.
Drums pane.
Okay,
40 5 open folder drums 0 items.
open folder drums 0 items. Okay, this is the cover of the folder. Okay, so what we have to do is now we have to go to the 21st we have to go to the 22nd track. Okay,
7 14 0 21 22 0 items.
Okay, this is the 22nd now.
21 0 items.
21 now. Since we have created a track after 4, which means we have a track in the 5th position, and the starting track of the folder will be 6th. Okay, now here we have to create another one.
That's my track name.
End drum. Okay,
S.
this is also a cover, end cover.
Drum. Name.
And
21 22 end drum 0 items.
Let's press shift plus enter and it will say
Folder.
Folder.
End of folder.
End of folder. Okay, folder and end of folder. Now what we have done is we have added a track before the starting of a track. Okay,
20.
As a cover, and we have added a track after the last track as the end of the folder or the end cover. Okay, now you can eliminate the cover tracks and you can set the folder on any track and every track, but that gives a sort of an organization where you can have you have to have a cover and stuff. Okay, so you can do whatever you want, right? So that's not a big deal. Now the power of folder, let me show.
20 0 items.
Now you can navigate by folder by pressing Alt plus page up to get to the previous folder, and Alt plus page down to the next folder. Okay,
5 open folder drums 0
now
items.
here we have 5 open folder drums 0 items. This is the what do you call that, cover. Okay, now the other thing is, now we have 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21. Okay, I think about 21 about 11 tracks or something. I can't count even. Okay, so about 11 tracks inside the folder. Okay, starting from the cover folder and ending of the cover folder, right? Or the cover track, sorry. Now what we can do is, okay, before that what has happened is every track, the track from the starting from 6 to 21 are sending to the cover folder. As I have understood the theory, every track inside the folder are sending to the cover folder. Okay, so the cover folder will be the destination track. Okay, so if you were to add a reverb plugin to the destination or the cover folder or the cover track, which we have set it as the folder, starting of the folder, that would affect every track, because every track are sending the signal to the cover folder and the cover folder is doing the rest of the thing. Okay, sending to the master. Okay, so master, I hope you guys are aware of it. Master track is the track where you hear sounds from your speakers. Okay, so master is a special kind of track. Okay, so if you go to the view sub menu,
master track CTRL shift MM.
You have a master track. Okay, so if you press enter,
A master track visible.
you will hear master track visible, and if you press up arrow,
3 0 2 1 0 items. Master.
here you have a master track. Okay, so do remember that as well. You can treat and add effects to the master track as well, right? So
4 0 items. 5 open folder drums 0 items.
here it says open folder drums 0 items. So as I said, every track are sending to the drums folder. Okay, you can add a single effect where you can affect every channel or every track. Okay, so if you were to now here, this folder thing comes into picture if you have a mixing session and stuffs, if you have complex tracks and complex routing, so you can utilize the folders. Okay, so another small thing,
4 0
now it says
5 open folder drums 0 items.
5 open folder drums 0 items. Okay, so now nice thing is, now the end of the folder is 22nd. Okay, so you have to go to the 22nd track to reach the end. Okay, so what you have to do, what you can do is, instead you can close the folder,
Small.
press enter,
Closed.
closed. Okay, now if you press enter, it will say
Open.
open.
Small.
Small, I think small is refers to the visual aspect. Okay, and the other one is
Closed.
close. Now if you press up arrow,
4 0 items.
4, and if you press down arrow,
5 closed folder drums 0 items.
closed folder drums. And remember, if you were to reach to the end of the folder, you have to go 22nd track. Now see what happened.
23 0 items.
23 0 items. Since we have closed the folder, it has reached and it has collapsed every track. So once we reach to the 5th track, if you press down arrow, you have 23rd track. Okay, so that's the way folders are be useful. If you have 100 tracks, so you can use folders and close stuffs, and you can make your work productive. And another thing is, every like if you were to mute the folder track,
5 closed folder drums 0 items.
5 closed folder drum 0 item, if you were to mute
Muted.
F5, the complete folder will be muted, which means any track inside the folder will not be heard, will not be audible, right? And if you were to solo the track, the same thing will happen. Every track will be soloed except the rest of the project, okay, rest of the track. Okay, so this is the basic thing. Now even if you can mess with volumes and as well as automation, I have done tutorials about these things. I highly recommend you to watch those things if you are not aware of these things: automation, volume, as well as adding effects, and even you can add items as well. I'm not sure. Okay, so this is the power of folders. Now let me show. Now here folder track is ended. Now that the theory is ended, now you can use the folder track. Now I'll show how I have used folder track in one of my project. Okay, so let's close this project. Control F4
Dialog, save and save project before closing. Yes, but no, but no.
and save unsave project before closing. I'll say no because this is a temporary project.
Press. Thinking out loud.rpp.
Now here I have a thinking out loud
1 piano arm 20 items.
.rpp. This is a project which I have created, and now here let see.
2 sequence arm.
Now the first one is
piano arm
piano
2 sequence arm 21 items.
sequence.
3 pad 1 arm 12 items. 4 pad 2 arm 4 items. 5 strings arm 13 items. 6 strings 2 arm 1 item. 7 flute arm 13 items. 8 vocal arm 8 items. 9 viola arm 4 items. 10 open folder guitar group arm 0 items.
All right, here comes the folder. Open folder guitar. Okay, now let's see what we have in the guitar.
11 center guitar arm 2 items. 12 E guitar 1 arm 15 items. 13 E guitar tab arm 14 items. 14 electric guitar arm 7 items. 15 guitar arm 6 items. 16 steel guitar arm 4 items. 17 end of folder arm 0 items.
All right, end of folder. This is the cover. Okay,
18 harp arm 15 items. 19 bass arm 21 items. 20 open folder drums arm 0 items. 21 kick arm 26 items.
drums folder, kick,
22 snare arm 20 items.
snare,
23 arm 5 items. 24 hats arm 20. 25 hats 2. 26 cymbal arm. 27 six arm. 28 claps arm. 29 snap arm. 30 bell arm 16. 31 breaks arm 30. 32 end of folder arm 0 items.
all right, end of the drums folder, and
33 open folder reverb receives arm 0 items.
reverb receives. Now since I have a lot of receives tracks here which are receiving from piano reverb and stuffs, I have separated to the folder as well.
34 piano reverb arm 0 items. 35 electric guitar reverb arm 0 items. 36 end of folder arm 0 items.
End of folder. Now here comes the power. Okay,
1 piano arm.
so if you were to play the track, this is a track, complete track, and okay, so this is the complete track. Now if you were to go to the guitar folder, come alt plus down arrow,
10 open folder guitar group arm 0 items.
guitar group. Now if let's solo this,
Soloed. Solo in front. Normal solo. Unsoloed. Soloed.
solo this guitar track. Now solo in front means alt plus control plus F6, which means like you can hear the other rest of the project volume down. Okay, like in front means it will, the main thing will be soloed, but you can hear the rest of the project in a lower volume. Okay, so normal solo means you can hear only the soloed track. Okay, now let's see what we have in the guitars. Okay, only guitar. Now since we have soloed the guitar, you can hear only the guitar. Okay, this complete guitar folder. Okay, this is the guitar. See, it's a power. Okay, and let's unsolo this guitar track.
Unsoloed.
And let's go to the drums.
20 open folder drums arm 0 items.
Open folder drums, and let's solo this.
Soloed.
Now
Marker 2 bar 6.
drums starts from marker 6. Okay, now markers, there is another chapter. I'll do a tutorial on that as well. That's a very simple thing. Let's play this thing. These are drums. Only you can hear drums. That's the power of folders. You don't have to solo every track. This is drums. Okay, let's
10 open folder guitar group arms 0 items.
solo this guitar group as well.
Solo.
Okay, Alt plus F6 would unsolo every track.
All tracks unsoloed.
Now this is the power of folder. I can work with individual groups of folders at a time, and that makes my life so much easier, and it saves a lot of time as well, right? Now here the project has about 36 tracks. So since I have managed according to the groupings, guitar group, drum groups, as well as reverbs, my life has become so much easier, and I had a lot of time to work with individual projects, individual tracks. Okay, so because of that, I have created this wonderful piece of music. I'll give you a sneak peek of it. Alright, so that's the power of folders. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Now this is it about the folders. So what you have to do is you have to use the concept so that you can understand well, right? So with that being said, we will be winding up the video. If you got any questions, comments, thoughts, ideas, or future recommendations or future suggestions for videos, please let me know in the comment section. So that would help me a lot, right? So with that being said, I hope you guys are doing marvelously well. And stay safe, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Signing out, Rashad.